DNA contains the instructions needed for an organism to develop, survive, and reproduce. Each DNA sequence that contains instructions to make a protein is known as a gene. DNA is made of chemical building blocks called nucleotides. These are made of three parts: a phosphate group, a sugar group, and one of four types of nitrogen bases: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. In organisms called eukaryotes, DNA is found inside the nucleus. In sexual reproduction, organisms inherit half of their nuclear DNA from the male parent and half from the female parent. It is a simple matter to figure out the sequence of bases on the other strand. This shape gives DNA the power to pass along biological instructions with great precision. There are three most well-known and commonly studied types: messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. Each nucleotide contains a ribose sugar with carbons number 1' through 5'. A base is attached to the 1' position, in general adenine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. A component of RNA that distinguishes it from DNA is the presence of a hydroxyl group at the second position of the ribose sugar. The primary role of RNA is to convert the information stored in DNA into proteins. Many types of RNA have been found to be catalytic. Other varieties of RNA have been found to have complex regulatory roles in cells. RNA is one of the only genetic materials present in all cells. The genes that code for RNA are sequenced to identify the taxonomic group to which an organism belongs. Many antibiotics work by affecting RNA. It is a virus that has RNA as its genetic material. Notable human diseases caused by RNA viruses include COVID-19, influenza, and Ebola. Protein types are naturally occurring and chemical. Classification: membrane, fibrous, globular, soluble, and insoluble. DNA encodes for one-dimensional amino acids. Primary: amino acids linked by peptide bonds and from linear change. Secondary: makeup of polypeptide chains that fold up into 3D structure. Tertiary: water-soluble proteins that condense into compacted structure. The relationship between proteins, DNA, and RNA is the protein synthesis process, which is known to compose new proteins from the 20 essential amino acids. In the process, a transcription of DNA into RNA occurs, which consists of the copying of DNA instructions by RNA through the synthesis of RNA molecules complementary to DNA. Only one of the DNA chains of a gene is complementary to the RNA. This chain is the one that can be transcribed.